Good day everyone. Our group will be discussing about the descriptive measures, measure of central tendency.
There are two fields inclined in statistics, and these are descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. As our topic is about the measures of central tendency, pasok siya sa field ng descriptive statistics as it states that it is a type of statistics that will be used only when one would like to describe a group of individuals or describe the data that are being collected. To elaborate the meaning of measures of central tendency, our group will explain it on to the next slide.
A measure of central tendency is a single value that attempts to describe a set of data by identifying the central position within the set of data. As such, measure of central tendency are sometimes called measure of central location. The mean, median, and mode are all valid measures of central tendency, but under different conditions, some measurement of central tendency become more appropriate to use than others.
Mean. It is the average or most commonly used measure of central tendency. Arithmetic mean or simply mean is the sum of all n values divided by the total frequency. It is usually denoted by the total x bar.
The median is the value separating the higher half from the lower half of a data sample, a population, or a probability distribution. For a data set, it may be thought of as the middle value. The basic feature of the median is describing data compared to the mean, is that it's not skewed by a small proportion of extremely large or small values, and therefore provides a better representation of a typical value.
About sa mode naman, it is the value that occurs most often. It is also the simplest measure of central tendency since it can be easily identified by inspection of an ungrouped set of data by getting the score or item which occurs most frequently. Sa madaling salita, ang mode is yung pinaka-famous na number sa given or like ito yung pinakamaraming naulit na number sa given.
And for solving the grouped and ungrouped data, here's an example given. The data shown are the scores in HRM exam. Find the score of the 21 students if 4 intervals shall be used in grouping the data. 59, 65, 61, 62, 53, 55, 60, 70, 64, 56, 58, 58, 62, 62, 68, 65, 56, 59, 68, 61, and 67. Let's solve first the ungrouped data.
As I have mentioned the arithmetic mean a while ago, you will just add all of the data shown here and then divide it into the total frequency. Bali, yung kung ano yung nandun sa given, ayun yung ipag-a-add mo. So, ayan, you will get the summation for that. And the sum would be 1,289 divided by the total frequency, which is 21. And now, the quotient for that would be 61.38095 or simply 61.38. And now, that's the mean for the ungrouped data.
As a continuation on what Kiara said, how are we going to find the median of ungrouped data? So first, place the number in value order, then find the middle number. After listing down the numbers in value order, now we have a total of 21 scores, so let's find the middle or the 11th numbers so we can find the median. 1, 2, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. 61, 11th number slash
Para makuha natin yung mode ng ungrouped data, kailangan natin iayos ng least to greatest yung mga given para makita natin yung mga magkakaparehas na numbers. Katulad na lang nito, 58, dalawa, 61, dalawa, 62, tatlo, 65, dalawa, 68, dalawa. So, ang pinakamaraming naulit is yung 62. So, ito yung mode natin.
And now, let's solve the group data.
In order to find the group data, the first thing that you need to do is to make a table. So first, from the shown data, you need to determine its range. So you will get the highest and then the lowest score. So basing sa given, 70 yung highest and then 53 yung lowest. Here, we need to subtract the highest score that we got, which is 70, to the lowest score that we got, which is 53. And the difference of that would be 17. So, the problem requires 4 class intervals, so you need to divide the difference that you got a while ago to the required class interval. So, that would be 17 divided by 4. The quotient of that would be 4.25, and then it is possible to group it or to estimate it into 5 since it can be rounded up to some simple value. Since 5 nga yung nakuha kanina, and then we will list down the class interval as it is, like 51 to 55, diba? 5 yon, and then so on, 56 to 60, 61 to 65, 66 to 70. Now that we have the class intervals listed, the class frequency, class mark, and fx should be listed too. Now, in class frequency, you will count how many numbers are there per class interval. For example, dito sa 51 to 55. Ayan, para may mailagay ka dyan, you need to see kung ano yung papasok dyan. So, dalawa, 53 and 55, and then ayun yung ilalagay mo. And that would be same for the others sa 56 to 60. As you can see, 7 yung pwede nating bilangin dun sa data. So, 7 ilalagay mo. 61 to 65, 8 yung pwedeng ilagay. And then 66 to 70, 4 yung pwedeng ilagay. Ngayon na nakalista na yung class frequency completed now, we need to get its summation value 2 plus 7 plus 8 plus 4, and that would be 21. That would be our total frequency. In order to get the class mark naman, you will just need to add the lowest and highest from the class interval and then divide it into 2. Diba, 51 plus 55, that would be 106. Kapag dinivide mo sa dalawa, ang makukuha natin is 53, and that would be same for the others too. For the fx, you will just multiply the class frequency and then the class mark. So 53 times 2, that would be 106. 58 times 7, that would be 406. 8 times 63, 504. And then 68 times 4, that would be 272. Now get the summation, and that would be 1288. So here is the formula for the mean of group data. So summation of fx over total frequency. So 1288 over 21, and that would be 61.333, or simply 61.33, and that would be the final answer or the mean of the group data.
So now, how can we find the median of group data? The class interval CF, X, and Fx are already discussed by Kara. So now, we are going to find the CB, means class boundaries. By finding the CB, the left side of the class interval, you are going to subtract it in 0.5. Then the right side of the interval, you are going to add it in 0.5. So now, after finding the class boundaries, we are now going to find this one. So by finding this, we will just write this 2, copy, and then add it to the next number. 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 plus 8 is 17, 17 plus 4 is 21. So dapat ang makukuha nating number dito is the number of the class frequency here. So, tama tayo. So, by finding the lower boundaries, we will going to go back to the median of ungrouped data. So, we find the median of ungrouped data, 61. So, this is what we're going to be the lower boundaries. So now, don't notice this one, it was a mistake. So we're going to write again the median's solution, or the formula rather, sorry. Lower boundaries plus n over 2 minus c fb over f, then times it to the interval. So our lower boundaries, what we find in the ungrouped median is the 61, so this is our lower boundaries. Our lower boundaries is 60.5 plus, and then our n is 21 divided by 2 minus class frequency boundary. So this is it, 7, 2 plus 7 minus 9 over our frequency. So our frequency is 8 here, the lower boundaries, and then our interval is 5. So there you go, and then let's solve. 60.5 plus 21 divided by 2 or over 2 is 10.5 minus 9 over 8 times 5. So 60.5 plus 0.9375. So our median is 61.4375. So here is our median. Thank you for listening. So Hannah, it's your turn to solve the mode.
Para makuha naman natin ang mode na group data, we can use this formula. XLB plus I times FM minus FMB divided by 2 times FM minus FMA minus FMB. Yung XLB, ito yung lower class boundary at the modal class. Yung I naman, ito yung class size. Yung FM naman, ito yung class frequency of the modal class. Yung FMB naman, ito yung class frequency of the class before the modal class. And yung FMA naman, ito yung class frequency of the class after the modal class. Ito yung table na kailangan nating gamitin para magawa yung formula at masolve ito. Yung XLB natin, ito yung 61. So, 61 na dapat kailangan natin siyang i-minus sa 0.5. So, ang kalalabasan is 60.5. Yung class boundaries naman natin is yung 61 to 65. Kailangan natin siyang i-minus parehas. Like this, 65 minus 61. Add 1 lagi. So, ang magiging sagot is 5. Next naman is yung the class frequency of the modal class, which is yung 8. So, yun na lang natin. And then, yung class frequency after, ito yung 4. So, ilalagay na lang din natin doon. And then, yung class frequency natin before is 7. So, yan. Kompleto na. So, pwede na natin siyang isolve. X is 60.5 plus 5 times 8 minus 7 divided by 2 times 8 minus 4 minus 7. Next. Ang makukuha natin dito is 1 over 5. Pwede na natin itong dalawa i-times 60.5 plus 1. So, ang magiging sagot is 60.5 plus 1 is equals to 61.5. So, ito yung pinakasagot. Ito yung mode ng group data.
And that's all for the presentation of Group 2. Thank you so much for listening.